What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ProMG Money channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. Hope you're here to stay. If you're returning and you haven't subscribed, please do the things that make the things to happen. You know what it is. And welcome to 2021. First of all, I hope it was a good year. I hope you entered the year well and you had a Merry Christmas. You and your family, or you and your loved ones, or whoever you are with, I hope it was a good one. We all know that 2020 was a bit of a stinker. It was a bad year, but we're all looking forward to 2021. Bigger, brighter, better things, and please get the vaccine if it comes out. I swear the government's not doing anything to you. But anyway, that's besides the point. This obviously is the ProMG Money channel, and you're currently watching the Lobola challenge. And what the Lobola challenge is actually is a challenge that I've set for myself, that within 2 years I need to have grown a particular amount of money by 200%. And with that, what we actually want to do is take a consistent amount of 500 Rand every month for 24 months, put it into an account, and at the end of that 24 months we should have grown that amount to about 36,000 Rand, which is about 200% in profit. Now, I know for some of you that might seem like it's a lot or it's a bit ambitious, but trust me, it is possible. If you're picking the right companies at the right time, you can definitely do it. I want to show you how I'm going about doing it, and hopefully when we get to the end, you would have joined in somewhere along the way and gotten some profit for yourself. And basically, why we've called it the Lobola challenge is that at the time when I started it, there was a girl I liked, and I thought, listen, 2 years time, I'm walking down the aisle with this girl, which is no longer the case. The girl's still there, but yeah, whether we walk down the aisle or not is a completely different story. Anyway, it was just something I wanted to show that's sort of relatable to each and every person, particularly black people. I think black people, we don't invest enough, and that's why I sort of came up with the Lobola challenge, to sort of showcase that. In my head, it was a good idea. I'm not sure, because this is season 2 of the Lobola challenge. Season 1 did happen, it did exist, and you know, we got, I think, about 10 episodes in, and yeah, I've just decided, you know what, let's switch it up, come on over with season 2, and you know, see how we can go further from strength to strength from where we last were. And I think as well, what we sort of just wanted to demonstrate and show is some of the reasons why I've decided to do this challenge here. You know, because there's a reason for everything, and my reasoning for wanting to do this, number one, is to just show that investing is easy. I think generally speaking, there's always been a very high barrier to entry when it comes to you know, investing and the stock market and so on and so forth. You know, a lot of us know about it, we know what it is, but no one actually tells us how you can get involved, how you can, you know, start your journey. And personally, for me, it is quite easy. If you actually continue to watch this channel, you'll see there's a particular platform I use, whose name I'm not going to mention because they don't pay me, but their platform is actually quite friendly to novices and beginners. You know, it's quite self-explanatory, and you can pretty much find your way around without having to you know too much deep information. And even signing up for an account, you know, you pretty much just need to feature yourself as you normally would, you know, with any other financial instruments like a bank account and so on and so forth. So it's as easy as that. And I think as well, the amounts of money that you need to put in are really not a lot. Like we're doing with the Lobola challenge, we're only going to be putting in 500 Rand every month, which I think is an attainable amount of money to be putting away, and seeing with that 500 Rand what we can get. Second thing that I want to show is that instead of saving your money in a savings account, you'd rather invest the money. And the reason why I say this is because most banks give you the worst interest rates on savings accounts, whether it's a normal savings, a fixed deposit, 32 days, 7-day notice, whatever you want to call it. The interest rates on those accounts are horrible, and they're actually below inflation, meaning that if you keep that money in a savings account for a year or more, your money is essentially losing its value, because what 1 Rand buys you today can't buy you the same thing tomorrow. So if your money is sitting stagnant and it's not grown in that time, you've pretty much lost the value of your money. And again, it's for me, instead of saving, you invest. If you know that your car is on its last legs, or in a few months you're going to want a new set of wheels, you need to put down a deposit on a house, pay for a wedding, school fees, whatever the case might be, things that you would normally save for, rather than save it, invest that money. And I'm not saying put it in a crazy investment that's gonna give you 6 times return and so on, because that's very risky. If it's something that you really need and you really want, and it's money that you can't lose, there are lower risk investments that you can get involved in that will still preserve your money for the most part, but will at least continue to grow it, and you'll be able to get a good return, which actually goes on to the second part, which is having a good ROI. Some investments aren't good, some are okay, and some are great. For me personally, the benchmark I use is the S&P 500, which is essentially the 500 biggest companies in the world, sort of put onto one index, and that sort of gives an indication of what the market is doing. And I think over the last 10 years, the S&P 500 year on year has given a return of about 9%. So for me, anything below that 9% is a bad investment. Anything in and around between that 9 to 13% is an okay investment, and anything that goes beyond that is a good investment. And keep in mind, I'm speaking about maybe over a year, maybe not over a week or two, because as we know, prices fluctuate, things go up and down. You buy Apple today, it goes down. You don't just quickly rage sell and say you're cutting your losses, because you can find in 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, Apple's going to shoot up and you've pretty much lost that opportunity. So another thing that you need to know is that in order to get the good returns on investment, you do need to be patient as possible. And I think that actually ties in quite nicely into the next point, which is that you can actually beat your financial advisor. And this is in no way, shape, or form a dig on financial advisors. I actually think a financial advisor is a good thing, because they can, set you up or set up your funds or your finances in such a way that everything kind of works together for your good. They can teach you certain principles that are quite good. And yeah, I think overall financial advisors are a good thing. The only problem I have with the financial advisor is that their priorities are not the same as yours. For them, it's all about collecting their fee, which you would think would force them or kind of encourage them to give you better returns. But the reality is that they take their fee up front, before they've even put in any money away for you. And they still take another fee later on. So for me, a financial advisor, as good as they are, won't always be the best option for each and every person. And as well, you can't necessarily always afford to have a financial advisor. I mean, imagine you decide that you're going to invest 500 Rand a month every month. Imagine if you still need to pay a financial advisor from that. How much more is that going to take from your overall profits or the actual money that you can invest, So I think it is possible for you to do it on your own, so much so that you can beat your financial advisor whilst doing this investment. And I think the last thing that I really want to showcase is that you need to start today. A lot of the time we put things off to say, no, I'll start investing once I have more money, or once the market is good, or this or that. And let me tell you something now. The more you put it off, the less chance you have of actually doing it. I'm a firm believer in the fact that you need to get started today with as little amount of money as you have. Just get started, because for me, it's skin in the game. Even if you don't know what you're doing in the beginning, those first few months or the first little while is your school fees. That's your education. You'll be learning things in that initial period. That's why I say you need to get started as soon as possible, because as soon as you get started, the better you will be at this thing. There's money to be made in investment. There are a lot of people who've made a significant amount of money, who have good retirements and so on and so forth, just off of investing. And I think I'd like it to be you as well, starting today. So please just get started. And I think, having said that, I'm actually going to show you, pretty much what our investment account looks like. With this platform that I use currently, there are actually 2 types of accounts that you get. There is a ZAR account, and there is a USD account. And then each of these accounts, on the ZAR account, obviously you can only access JSE stocks, so that's like your Pick n Pays, your ShopRite, Foschini Group, Anglo-American, and so on and so forth. That's all you can get on the ZAR account. And then on the American or the USD account, you actually get access to a few more international stocks, but not everything that's obviously listed on the New York Stock Exchange. But yeah, just to go over it, as you'll see here at the top left, it says we have about 3,756 Rand 84 cents, which is, of that, the profit is 1,163, which gives us a profit percentage of about 44.85, which is quite good. Still nowhere near the 200% that we need, but it's doing okay. And sort of the two positions that we have in South Africa is African Rainbow Capital Investments. I'd like to call it ARC, but you'll find out shortly why we can't. And just below that, we actually also have Sasol, which is essentially the two positions that we have. Sasol we've actually had for some time. I think pretty much since March of 2020 we've been in Sasol, and African Rainbow in Capital is actually our latest position that we actually just added now at the beginning of 2021. I'm actually going to go over them, give you my bullish thesis on African Rainbow Capital as to why I'm very bullish on them. If we take it over then to our USD account, you'll see our balance is sitting on $842.66. Of that, the profit is 580.48 cents, which gives us a total profit position of 222%, 72, which is quite good. If we actually look at our holdings, you'll see we literally only have two things. We have ARK Invest, the innovation ETF. That's why we have to call African Rainbow Capital, because there's another ARK on the account. And we have Tesla. These are essentially, the two cash cows of the account. As you'll see here, Tesla, we've grown by almost about 300%, which is astronomical. ARK Invest, maybe not as much, but we're still relatively new into ARK Invest. Tesla is actually where we started this account as of December 2019, when we put in our first 500 Rand and we put it on Tesla. We've literally gone from strength to strength on this one, and yeah, this is where we're getting the most gains actually on the account. Now I'm just going to show you just the spreadsheet that I keep and I maintain, just to sort of show the levels of the account. And you'll forgive me that the prices are slightly different here than what they are on the platform. It's just because I do the spreadsheet every Monday, and I might record the actual video on a different day. But as of Monday morning, we were sitting on 3,901 Rand, which gave us a total profit position of about 1,307 Rand, which is a profit of about 50%, which is, again, like I said, quite good, but versus the previous week or the previous period. Now, another disclaimer, this thing is supposed to happen every week, but between November and now, a lot happened, so it was a bit tough for me to actually continue to do this. But yeah, our movement versus the previous week, we actually went up by 729 Rand 87 cents, but I actually added in a 500 Rand for the month of December, which actually means then we've actually only made 229 Rand 87 cents in that past month. If we take it over to our ZAR account, we're sitting on about $814.73, which gives us a profit of $554.10, which is a total profit position of 212%, which is quite good. Versus the last period or the last week, it's an improvement of about 36.38%, and the dollar movement is 175.86. But I think I added about call it about $38. If you convert 500 Rand, it should be about $38, meaning that the actual amount of money that we made was $137.56. And then we go on over to our overall position. You'll see so far we've actually contributed 7,500. So if you count all of the months that we've had, the total amount is 7,500. Our account value is sitting at about 15,776, meaning that the actual profit that we've made is 8,276.58 cents. So we've pretty much doubled that initial seven and a half, and that is showcased by our profit percentage, which is 110%, which is quite good, but still we're about 90% away from our mark of 200. And even once we get to 200, we still need to sort of maintain it. Yeah, moving on, you'll see we're on negative 3.1 or 11% versus the previous period, which is okay. You know, it's just a normal week to week fluctuation, so that's not too bad. But the actual dollar movement has actually improved by about 834 rand 17 cents. So I think personally we've done quite well on this account so far. I mean, 110%. Ask anyone if they were to get an investment for 110% in the first year, if they thought it was a good investment or they thought it was bad or whatever. And if you actually take what I spoke about earlier with the S&P 500, it means we would have beat the S&P 500 by over 100%, which I think is quite good, and it's what we should all be aiming for.
Let's go, mundo. Awesome.